Right guys, so when I started this build I took mostly photographs and not videos, unfortunately. So to begin with, there's going to be a lot of pictures with a bit of a voiceover, and at the end we'll get into a bit of serious clackage. So funnily enough, when I picked the scooter up I didn't realise that it was still functioning, but after picking up a cheap charger, you can see my mum here on the video just giving it a quick blast around the garden. So I quickly got onto stripping the scooter down. There's a funny little clip here of me actually at work on my lunch break, and a spider crawls out from underneath the scooter, so I had to just finish him off pretty swift. So as you can see in the video, I start taking bits off the chassis, making it nice and flat so it can accommodate an engine, which you'll also see. I go and pick up a 90cc fully auto ATV engine, which was sort of the perfect size for the first rendition of this build. I made a 20mm axle, some spacers to step it up to 1-inch bearings, and then a sprocket carrier which I will later weld onto the axle. So the next step, as you can see, was bolt a plate onto the chassis and a corresponding plate that bolted onto the engine, which could slide to allow us to tension the chain. This is helpful because it stops us having to use a separate chain tensioner, and just sort of, if we want to change sprocket sizes, we can simply move the engine backward and forward on that plate. The next step was to make a disc brake carrier, very similar to the sprocket carrier, which simply bolts onto the axle, or welds onto the axle, and just keeps the disc brake nice and rigid so we can get some decent stopping power. Unfortunately, while I was documenting the build, I did miss out quite a lot of key parts, like when I machined the stem, setting up the rear brake, bleeding it, getting the chain tension set up, the fuel system, the electrical system, that sort of thing. But fortunately we did get quite a bit of content of us mizzing around on it, so I'll put those clips in now. That's it for part one of the mobility scooter build. You might have seen at the start, we eventually do put some go-kart wheels on, put a slightly bigger engine with gears on, we upgrade various bits and bobs on it, so stay tuned for part 2 coming soon. Thank you very much for watching.